Okay, we are now live in YouTube, or so one would think. Here's the thumbnail, so one would think.
The National Institute of Standards and Technology advises use modern whitelisting programs to stop cyber threats. PCmatic protects Windows computers including XP, Vista, Windows 7.
We are going to be playing, I think, for a bit.
Macs, MacBooks, and Android phones and tablets. PCmatic starts at $50 for 5 devices for 1 year with a full 30-day money-back guarantee. Reinforce any antivirus in homes, businesses, and
Checking how long that delay is.
Prevent them.
It's a bit of a delay.
Go to PCmatic.com.
He's fighting for his
But it's all good.
life in a recall race, but Gavin Newsom still thinks he's the king of California. And believe me, it's good to be king. Who could forget his maskless dinner at the French Laundry restaurant, flaunting his own COVID restrictions, or the time he kept public schools closed while his own kids attended private school in person out of a suite? His latest hit, pulling his children out of a camp that chose to not enforce mask mandates after his kids were seen, well, maskless, in violation of his own policies. Let's bring in radio host John Phillips, hosting, of course, at KABC in Los Angeles, and Fox News contributor and The Hill media columnist Joe Concha. Johnny, let me start with you. You know, I know you're from California. I'm a native Californian. It seems like it's just a circus all the way around, from the top to the bottom of our beautiful state. What's your take on all of this? It's just a circus all the way
There we go,
around,
that's better.
from the top to the bottom of our beautiful state. What's your take
It
on all of
seems
this?
like it's just a circus all the
There
way
we go,
around,
that's better.
from the top to the bottom of our beautiful state.
Except for
It
that.
seems like it's
Other Californians were doing their school over the computer. He went to the French Laundry when the rest of us were forced to order our dinner while sitting in our car through the clown's nose with Jack in the Box. And yet when he looks at Californians, ignoring his arbitrary and capricious edicts to wear masks or his call for all of us to get vaccinated, and we're not doing what he wants us to do at the levels at which he wants us to do it, he blames the conservative media. Well, why aren't your own kids wearing masks? I guess they're not watching Nickelodeon at their house. They're watching conservative media.
Johnny, thank you for that. I think that there's also an issue, Joe, when it comes to how this is viewed across the country. California is not really isolated. It's just like an intense version of what the Democrats want for the entire country.
Well, that's a very good point, right? In other words, California has 40 million people. The way you run a state is the way you can run a lot of countries. But let's look at the numbers that matter. If you're looking at this from a journalism perspective, how should Gavin Newsom be covered? Okay, for starters, you should ask the question, what scientific argument does Newsom have for saying that kids should be wearing masks outside for children? Because the CDC would even say that that's not necessary. But then you look at the numbers. If we're looking at a scoreboard, Tammy, right? California's unemployment, 7.7%. That's one of the highest rates in the nation. Florida, if you're looking for a comparison, is just...
Well, maybe that is what we want to do.
Now, California, when you look at
Except
the
we just closed it.
skyrocketing violent crime, skyrocketing homelessness, has also seen a mass exodus, Tammy. According to the U.S. Census, 6 million people fled your state last decade. That trend has accelerated this year.
And
so we add up a scoreboard that matters.
It included
Right,
me,
exactly.
but I was nuts because I just went from flame to flame and moving to New York. That made no sense at all. John, but in the meantime, Johnny, the recall seems to have taken a little bit of a shift. The recall against Gavin Newsom. Everyone was thinking, oh, he's going to get by, he's going to be fine. Suddenly there's a new poll indicating that he might not be fine. What's that about?
Yeah, it's even Steven. According to the latest poll, 50% want to keep him in, 47% want to dump him. And one of the points that he's been making throughout the recall is that this is a Republican effort to toss him from office. Well, there aren't enough Republicans in California to fill a phone booth. This is far beyond just Republicans. Democrats are upset, as Christine Pelosi, daughter of Nancy Pelosi, has pointed out repeatedly. Independents are upset. Members of third parties are upset.
Good.
Anger towards Gavin Newsom is hitting a high decibel.
Good.
And every time he gets caught doing something like this, in spikes.
It's amazing.
Worried about this recall.
Yeah, he can't get anything right, Joe. I'm going to give you the last word. It's just, even with them knowing what's going on, they can't stop themselves.
They cannot in these situations. And look, less jobs, higher taxes, cost of living rising, pollution out of control, all while feeling less safe. Never a good combination. It feels like being in New York, right? And it's no wonder that California is in trouble and that Gavin Newsom is in trouble. And the last time that deep blue California, Tammy, had a recall election, that was nearly 20 years ago, and that resulted in Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger
very
naming
first.
Hasta la Vista for Newsom as well.
The very first effort that succeeded in the country, recalling a governor, and I was a part of that, so I'm very proud of that. And I know Californians still have the rebel spirit. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. I appreciate it. Great job. All right, up next, tens of thousands of illegal migrants released into the U.S. on the honor system. Cool. Without a court date. Why not? How many do you think are turning themselves in? Senator Tom Cotton joins us next.
We make USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. We make USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. We make USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. We make USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. We make USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. We make USAA